Today, we're diving into a really fascinating and, pretty intricate philosophical speech from 1980 by Reverend Sun Myung Moon. It's called The Way of Original Form, and it's got this wild idea that connects every single part of your body to the entire cosmos. So let's see how this whole thing unfolds.
So the speech kicks off with a pretty mind-bending question. What if everything you needed to understand the universe, heaven, earth, the whole shebang, wasn't way out there in the stars, but was actually written right here on your own face?
The whole point here is that our 5 physical senses, they're just a beginning. The speech suggests that if you really want to understand the world's original ideal, you've got to perceive reality on a much, much deeper level.
Okay, so how much deeper are we talking? Well, get this. The speech proposes a pretty radical shift. It argues that to truly perceive the world, we don't have 5 senses, we have 7. Let's break this down. So, on top of sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch, the speech adds the mind as a 6th sense. That's for intellectual understanding. And then, and this is the big one, it adds the heart as a 7th sense. That's described as the deepest possible way to feel and understand everything. And this is where we come full circle, right back to the face. The speech uses the human body, especially our facial features, as a kind of symbolic map for the entire universe. Let's dig into how this cosmic blueprint is laid out.
The symbolism here is pretty cool. The eyes, they're said to represent God and heaven, perceiving things that are more abstract, like color and shape. But the mouth, that represents humanity and the earth. It deals with physical substance, through eating and speaking.
And the map just keeps getting more detailed. The nose is like the mediator between heaven and earth, representing both man and woman. The head itself symbolizes heaven, the home of invisible thought, while the heart represents the essence of life right here on earth. So in this view, your entire body is basically a mini-universe.
So, you might be wondering, what's the point of all this symbolism? Well, it all builds toward one crucial thing: love. The speech argues that love isn't just a feeling, it's the ultimate purpose of life, the central force that brings everything and everyone together.
This one line, this is really the core idea of the entire text. It's saying that the ideal way to be, the original form, isn't about logic or power or anything like that. It's about a life that is fundamentally built on love.
Okay, but what does love do in this system? The speech calls it the activating spark. It's the catalyst that connects our mind and our body, bringing them into harmony to create real, genuine happiness and meaning.
And the speech says you can actually see this principle in action in our own behavior. Take laughter. It's described as a state of being completely open, basically an invitation for love to come in. Hostility is the exact opposite. It's a state where every door is slammed shut, alienating you from connection. It's a really physical way of looking at our emotions.
Okay, so now things zoom out from the individual to, well, all of civilization. And it is absolutely crucial to remember here that what follows is a theory of civilizations as it was presented in this specific 1980 text. It really reflects the unique cultural and historical views of its time.
So, according to the speech, there's a direct link between climate and culture, and it assigns different roles based on race. It characterizes people from cold climates, described as white, as a kind of restless mountain culture. People from hot climates, described as black, are framed as a passionate valley culture. And people from moderate climates, who are termed Orientals in the text, are positioned as philosophical mediators.
And this theory gets mapped onto a historical timeline that the speech calls the 4 cosmic seasons. In this model, civilization is seen as moving from a fallen summer at the beginning, through the autumn of Western culture, toward a coming winter, which is represented by the communist world, and then finally into a cosmic spring, a brand new ideal culture.
All right, so if that cosmic spring is the ultimate goal, how do you actually build it? Well, the speech argues that it all starts with one single core structure: the family.
The text gives us a blueprint for this, and it's called the 4-position foundation. It's pretty straightforward. It starts with God as the origin point. Then you have a man and a woman who unite in love. And finally, children are born from that union, which completes the foundation and creates this stable, love-centered unit.
You see, according to the speech, this family unit is the nucleus of literally everything. It's the one place where God's love, parental love, and children's love are all meant to connect and flow. This nucleus then grows and multiplies to form a society, then a nation, and eventually the entire world.
The text even adds that for this ideal to be truly fulfilled, you need 3 generations, grandparents, parents, and children, all living as part of that whole.
So where does all this leave us? This whole worldview is built on this idea of an original form, a perfect blueprint for life, for love, for society. And that leaves us with one last, pretty provocative question to think about. If you believe that a perfect blueprint for existence really does exist, how does that change the way you think about building our future?